Chances are you're going about building decks completely wrong in Marvel Snap. Most top player decks aren't even original ideas. They're just old archetypes that are updated for new cards and new balance patches. So let's take a look at one of my examples of this. First up is one of Marvel Snap's oldest meta tyrants. This is the classic high evolutionary Lockjaw deck that was popular 3 years ago, although it looks a lot different with the same cards nowadays, given all the balance changes that have happened. You have cards like America Chavez, who used to be a 6/9 stuck at the bottom of the deck. Now she's a 1/2 with a completely different text box. And besides that, not many cards have changed outside of Lockjaw. He's gone through a couple of iterations. I believe at the time of this deck's popularity, he was a 3/3 and he had unlimited cycles. So following those two cards change, as well as, a bunch of new releases and the meta power generally increasing, this became relatively quite outdated pretty quick. Last month, I decided to look at that deck and update it for the release of Star-Lord. I felt like he could really add to the archetype, and I know it looks a lot different than the deck we just looked at, but trust me, I started out as a Thor's deck with Star-Lord in it, and it was, the same premise. You see the High Evolutionary, you see the Hulk, you see the Jubilee. I added Blink, which was not a card when the previous deck was made, and still got our good boy Lockjaw here. That was kind of part of the inspiration of playing this, but you also see a new big card such as Fing Fang Foom added to the list instead of Infinite. And although this does not have the Thor's package in it, I actually found the Star-Lord to be an improvement. I tested both, keeping the High Evolutionary and the Star-Lord, and then keeping the Thors and the Star-Lord during my climb to Infinite last season. This is actually what got me across the border. So this was the updated version, and what kind of got this whole topic going was the most recent OTA, where Star-Lord went to 5/8, and I was like, okay, maybe I could revisit doing something neat with a Janejaw deck. Following the OTA, we had both Thor and Beta Ray Bill buffed, so I wanted to get the Thor's package back in here, and after some initial testing, playing a version of this list with a Scar and a Star-Lord, I quickly realized that it was just not working. You had to play 2 on curve to fulfill the Star-Lord conditions. You weren't getting enough cards down that were above 10 power early enough for the Scar to change, and I ended up at the deck you have now shown on screen with a Pixie Mobius variation, utilizing actually this month's Season Pass card and Sabanur. I think this list compares kind of similarly to the one we had 3 years ago, where we used to have unlimited Lockjaw procs. Now we just had a new 4/9 Lockjaw that often goes off at the end of game added to the game, so I put him in this list. Since the old list, we also have another Hammer Enabler. We have King Eitri, we have Beta Ray Bill. Those guys both scale up really well. We have Pixie as just a general cheat engine. She's a way for you to change something with the Wasp and then draw that card. So a lot of high roll games, you can get the Jane Foster, you can get a Gore for free, and you could draw it to your hand and still get your other draw. So you're able to do some really strong things. At the top end, decks that have been similar to this over the years, in the time between that 3 years ago deck to now, they've been running a top end of Doctor Doom, Odin, and Magneto. And I feel like, especially given the 2 power buff to Gore, he's just really huge in this deck of generating on reveals and playing almost exclusively on reveals. And Foom, he might look a little unintuitive, he's 7 cost, you can't play him out naturally. But when you get to cheat him out with a Pixie, or when you get to roll into him off a Lockjaw or an Asabanur, he's just a free lane win. So I think it's still worth it to keep him in the list just for that reason alone. But you also have typically other strong play lines to do on turn 6. So let's dive into some gameplay of this. I'm going to take it straight to ladder. We're kind of jumping off where the last video left off at. I haven't played any snaps since then, so we'll see if we can climb. I think we'll do a similar 5-game sample. So yeah, see you there. Alright, here we have our first game. Real quick funny story. I accidentally just played 2 games, but I was on my other overlay that I used to show the deck, so it was all zoomed in and I was in the corner and I was bigger. So I gotta scrap both of those from the recording. Both games we actually won both, and we won with having a 40 power lane each time. One was a 40 and the other was a 48, so that's pretty cool to see. We'll see if we could replicate it in this 5-game sample, although this first game is going really bad for us off the draw. Also, it'd be remiss not to mention we are playing against Nickfolian Dynamite, which if you see this, join my Discord or something. You got to get in the Marvel Snap community. Everybody knows this guy. We get along good. It's always a good game. But it's just funny that for how prolific he is, how much people know him, no one knows who it is. He's not in any of the Discords or in Twitch chats and whatnot. Oh, we are just getting aggressively beaten down by the Doom 2099 deck. That's the draw we needed, but we cannot play it alongside a Gore anymore, so we have to retreat. We're going to be getting some Starbrand Crater Ramp. We are curving out really good. King Eitri, Pixie, Thor, Beta Ray Bill. If we get a Jane Foster, we're just doing great things. We're going against a B-hand gamer, so do have to be wary of some Gambit shenanigans, although we are a little less dead to Gambit than some other decks would be. I'm going to draw this now. It gives me the option to play it out next turn and start getting my Starbrand ramp, so I could save the Foom for the end. This also should be a snap, I should clarify. I feel like we have a pretty favorable matchup into V-hand. I feel like we have almost a favorable match into most things when we are drawing pretty well, which happens to be, it's one of those days. It is one of those days. I'm going to play the Beta Ray Bill in Lake Hellas. I'm going to buff the Thor to get my energy ramp for my Gore, who will be going down in the middle lane. And the opponent should really think about retreating this one, although they do not know about this guy waiting for them on the final turn of the game. Oh my goodness, 0 cost and Sabanur. I kind of want to save it, just out of surprise shock value. I think I am. I think if I play it out now, and Saba plus a Gore, they'll just probably retreat. That's why Wasp is in this deck. You just get some crazy high rolls with really big upside. They're dropping a Thor down. That'll be crazy if they get the... No! Oh, that is tragic. I should have played it. I actually don't think it matters, though. I think we're going to just end up winning more cubes than we otherwise would have. I think they're going to stay when they would have retreated, given I played that in Saba out. Let's see. The Stormbreaker's probably just getting blown up wherever I put it, so I'm going to go... They're going to play one more Gambit because they frigged it. They're playing Gambit plus something else, which means they'll be at, what, 15 plus 10 here? Sorry, 5 plus 10, they'll be at 15. This guy's 15 on his own. It's very likely that my Eitri and Thor gets destroyed, or my Eitri and Pixie, or just the Beta Ray Bill. So it's kind of hard. We're definitely making a gamble here on what we think will get blown up and what won't. I'm going to hard commit left is the gamble I'm making off of these Gambit rolls, which ended up being right. They're abandoning the beta location. CGR comes down. That's crazy. And a second Gambit. Alright, don't destroy my Thor. It did. Oh. No, we lose. That's a crazy final turn from the opponent. What's this? This isn't even generated? It's just the Quinjet. They had 7 energy because of Starbrand. That's a sicko thing to do. Put the Cosmic Ghost Rider in your deck. Alright, game 3. We're going against fellow streamer, Elephant Fudge. Hopefully he's live right now. That would be pretty cool. And it looks like we have a playable game compared to the last two. When you see Pixie in this list, you're just almost always going to drop her, unless you're doing the Thor curve out. And I think right here, normally, like I haven't been snapping on these. I'm still not going to snap, but you should snap this hand. We have Pixie down. We're playing Lockjaw E-Tree. Next turn we get to play a Beta Ray Bill, which I will put into the negative zone because he's going to get pretty big. And we'll get to draw his hammer immediately. Dark Dimension does not matter for 3-cost Foom. Oh my goodness. Again, we're just staying for the content here, but this is absolute insanity. We're going to actually Lockjaw the Wasp now. You can't see it here, but on my deck tracker, we have Mobius, Thor, and Saba, Jane, and Gore all in deck. So quite literally, no matter what I pull, I am very pleased. Boom, brings the hammer back to hand. Lockjaw shuffles in the Wasp, and what do we receive? Gore. Holy. He's putting up a fight in this lane though. Iska's gonna be really big, but I just don't think she's big enough, is Fudge's issue. We could play Jane Foster, which would draw the Wasp back to hand, and it would guarantee us a... What would it guarantee us? Oh, top decking Ensaba, Thor, or Mobius. We'd be able to play Thor or Mobius alongside the Foom. The other competing idea here is to play a Foom down onto the Iska, say you're not beating me in this location, and then Stormbreaker Odin. I think I like that better. We additionally have the option to Odin the Foom, which is really funny. And I think we will have to do it with this Sholau getting pretty tall. Let's see, we're gonna add 2 on reveals, so technically we go up to 34. He's playing Sholau, so we go up to 36. He's gonna go up 12 to 27. I have not been tracking the amount of turns he's played 2 cards. Let's see, he played Surge down, then he played Scarlet plus another card, so that's 1 turn. Then he played Iska, then he just played 2 cards, that's 2 turns. So you can get up to 9 in that location. I think we're still doing it though, in all honesty. I think we're still Odining the Foom. It's really mean, but we are not losing the Lemuria, which is what we would have done if we didn't do this play. Which is crazy to say, because this is as high rolly of a high roll as you can get, but by all means, we'll take the dub. Again, snap that hand. If you guys have that specific line, snap it every time. I'm just trying to, especially with those first 2 being losses, I'm trying to get some wins for you guys. Alright, into game number 3. Like we talked about last video, I don't know if it's a destroy deck or not. I am not putting my 1-drop in the Mojo world. Easy way to get scammed. Speaking of last video, I haven't mentioned it yet, but if you guys have any tips from last video or for this video on how I can improve the quality or content ideas, anything like that, feel free to give them to me. I'm all ears and I want to be improving. Boom. I also should have looked at the DL and deck size like I normally do. We're going against an Airsham gamer, so Killmonger should not have really been a concern. I'm thinking here, I want to play Ensaba here on Mojo World, but I don't want my lowest power card, Thor, to be Ensaba, and that just seems like it'll be some headaches. I'm going to play him down in the Necrotia. What's this Kang? Whoa, Omega Sentinel. That's kind of cool. And I think actually for this final turn, I'm trying to think if there's any way to get the Ensaba to proc now. It would be if I play out the hammers now. Do I want that? I would have to top deck a 0 cost to be able to fulfill my Mojo World condition. So it's almost like I don't want that to happen. I just want to drop a Jane. Oh, full float? Is this going to be a Infinite that we're getting? I really don't know. So yeah, now we get to play Mjolnir. We're going to go up to 12. I feel like that's Infinite. It's like we could do this. Let's see. We go up to 12. This will target that. I wonder if it's... No, if it's a Galactus, he only has 4 power in the mid lane. I feel like that has to be an Infinite float. And we could just force the Kang to hit our Thor, so... I'm not that scared. We're going to stay off of the Mjolnir Odin, which puts our Thor up to, what, 19 power? Removing Yokasta's ability to target our Jane and flip that lane. Oh, it couldn't have even flipped that lane. I wonder what you're snapping on, my friend. We will certainly see. Boom. Just go super tall in the Mojo world. Kang Blob. What is this Kang? Okay, Ozymandias. Nice. We're able to go over the top of that pretty easily. with the double Mjolnir buff. I mean, the Thor's buff really does just feel huge for these guys. What the heck? Did he just take that from my deck? How did he get such a similar looking Lockjaw? I don't know, but I'm going to throw the Wasp in and see what we get out of here. Hopefully it's something good. We are going to be playing Beta Ray Bill down on curve, drawing with the E-Tree, which will be really nice. They get a Cobra. I don't know what the opponent's deck is here, so I do feel kind of a little favored off principle, although we are certainly drawing. We're not drawing bad. I was about to lie a little bit, say we're drawing bad. We're not. It looks like I could have had a little bit more upside here too if I waited on the Lockjaw. I could have thrown a hammer in and then janed it back. So a little bit of a misplay, although I think it's going to end up fine. This turn we can play our Ensaboner, our Rock, our Stormbreaker, and then next turn we can just drop down a really big Gore, and hopefully we get another 0 cost back to be able to shuffle. But what do I even want to shuffle here? I kind of want the E-Tree to go away. Would be cool. I wonder if it's ever... Do I ever play the Stormbreaker over here just for the chance it shuffles back? I think honestly, yes. Just with us having Gore. They're not going to get to fill up that lane, which is really nice. Or Cobra anything, which is additionally really nice. They will win that lane unless we get the Stormbreaker off a top deck. Or, wait, Pixie. Oh, they'll win it by 1. 0 cost Foom. Oh, okay, we get 3 cost Foom. I don't see how you beat that. I don't see how they beat 16 here and a 3 cost Foom into the big house. That's just a really hard final turn to deal with, especially when they cannot play big cards there. Oh. They got 2 coming down right. What are they? Nico, +2 into Enchantress, which will be shy. Will not be enough points. Oh, wait, they got one more chance. Insaba, procs, rolls left, brings it. All right, we're fine. He brought out a Cape Bishop. So given that, we're going to end off the gameplay section there. Alright, so that was a showcase of the deck. This was my most recent Twitter post at the time of recording, which is technically still before my first video is posting. I'm recording this right now, Saturday night, and my video is scheduled to come out Sunday morning, so hopefully it goes over good. If you guys are like, what the heck, he didn't do this or this that I commented on his first post, this is why I'm recording it before my first one even goes up, as I had a little bit of a free night tonight. But we went overall, I believe, let me check the stats, I believe 1 above even. Yes, we went 5 and 4 plus 6 cubes with no snaps, which is pretty good, although you guys didn't get to see the first 2 games. That would have been great content. I promised you, I had 40 power lanes, boom, boom, and it was really good. But yeah, if you guys give this deck a try, let me know. If you have anything you want to talk about down in the comments, let me know. Be sure to give me a like, give me a subscribe, and stay tuned for more.